Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Cindy Newcomb and we're all about baking, budgeting, and beyond. Today we're gonna make spaghetti sauce. A lot of people think spaghetti sauce is hard to make, but it's really not. It just takes a few ingredients and you just throw them in the pan and it's ready to go in just a little bit. And of course I will have a shortcut for you at the end. The first thing we're gonna do is chop an onion. So I'm gonna get you down here so you can see, hopefully. Okay, get a little bit further back. Okay, so we're gonna chop an onion. So the first thing I do is chop off the top, chop off the root, get all that skin out of the way, and then I just peel the first layer of skin off. And with the skin, I actually take the first layer of onion too. I don't know if everybody does that or not, but that's what we're gonna do. One thing to think about when you're using an onion though, I know a lot of people put it in the fridge. After you cut an onion, you need to throw what's left away. You know, they used to use onions back in the old days. And the flu or pneumonia or something, they would cut an onion and put it at their bedside, and it literally turns black, bacteria. So it's best to just throw the onion away when you're done. Now I'm going to chop this onion into fairly fine pieces. So what I do is I just take it across several slices. Always keep your fingers kind of tucked under so you don't get your finger. And then I turn it around and go the other way, and then I turn it on its side and just slice away, and that gives you little chops. I kind of go, you know, kind of like a claw, because you sure don't want to cut your finger. I've done it before with okra, believe it or not, with a mandolin. Then when I get down to this little part, I just kind of slice it and then do a cross cut. And if it looks too big, just run your knife through it. I'm gonna put some olive oil in my pan, and I'm going to saute this onion, and then we'll add the meat. Now I've got this on medium heat. I've let it heat up a little bit. Put my onion in. Let this saute. Also put just a drop of olive oil so the noodles don't stick together when they're cooking. Now I'm using ground deer meat. I'm using 2 pounds of ground deer meat. You could use ground beef. You could use ground pork, ground Italian sausage. You can even use ground chicken. Now my meat is frozen. My husband's always saying, we don't have anything thawed. I'm like, if you've got frozen ground meat, it'll thaw out in the pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the meat in. And then I just add some water. And just kind of let that saute in there. I've left it on medium heat. I'm going to add some pepper, just regular black pepper. Make a mess. I'll add some salt. And then I'm just going to turn this every once in a while, and as I turn it, then I'll scrape off the meat that's done. And that way it'll just keep cooking the meat that's frozen. Then I just take and scrape the meat off. Because a lot of times when you get home from work, you've been busy. You haven't had time to even think about what you're going to cook for dinner. So you can do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and add some Italian seasoning. Now this is an Italian style herb seasoning with a grinder. We got it at Sam's when we went, and you can just twist it. I put quite a bit in here. Now, if you get like the McCormick kind or something that doesn't have the little grinder on it, what you need to do is pour like a palmful in your hand and then crush it in your hand, and that releases those herbs because they're dried, and it'll release them. I'll flip that over. Scrape again. Then it'll just slowly cook and everything will just be fine. If it gets dry, you just add a little bit more water. Can you tell we use a lot of minced garlic? Just a big heaping tablespoonful. So I'm just gonna let this cook slow. And when the meat gets done, then I'm gonna put in a can of, just a 15-ounce can. And then I'm gonna put in a can of diced tomatoes, which is 14.5 ounces. And then I'm going to put in 2 cans of tomato sauce, 15 ounces. Now, this doesn't have to be a specific brand. I don't usually go with off-brands. The only off-brand on stuff like that I might get is like the Kroger brand. Flip this over again. Just be careful not to burn yourself. That's why I use 2 of these Pampered Chef spoons to turn it on. An electric oven is an oddity. I had gas before and I wanted a convection oven and I wanted a dual oven, so about 1.5 years ago we got this stove, and so I've had to learn how to cook on an electric stove again. The only other one I've used that was electric was also a smooth top, so I was used to that, but it is different than cooking on gas. But I'll tell you, the day they brought it in to deliver it, these guys are cords, I'll tell you. They're like, oh my gosh, it's not gonna fit. And I was like, what do you mean it's not gonna fit? I thought they were standard. They were just joking with me, but whew. I was like, here I went and bought this stove and it doesn't fit. But it did. They were just being little butts. They were cute kids. They were brothers, actually. I'm gonna flip it over again, scrape some more off. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let this keep cooking, and I'll come back to you when this is through cooking, and then we'll start adding the other ingredients and we'll get the water going. Okay, we've got the meat all broken up now and it's about through cooking, so I'm gonna add the can of diced tomatoes. I'm gonna add the can of crushed tomatoes. A can of tomato sauce. I'm gonna stir that to see if I need that other can. Depends on how meaty you like your sauce. I think we're good like that. And we're just gonna let that cook. Okay. And while that cooks, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my water on for my pasta. And I'm gonna turn that burner on high. I told my husband I was making spaghetti sauce and he was like, ooh, he likes spaghetti sauce. That's not exactly what he said. That's the gist of it. I won't say exactly what he said. Okay, so I'm gonna let this simmer. It'll come back up to heat here in just a minute. I'm gonna let that simmer, and then I need to bring my water to boil. So we ended up just using 1 tomato sauce, 1 diced tomato, and 1 crushed. So I'm gonna let the water come to boil for my pasta, and I'm gonna let this come to a simmer. I'm gonna go ahead and give you your shortcut though, because sometimes we're just really in a hurry. So what we do is we use Classico 4 cheese pasta sauce. And if you don't have to have meat in your sauce, then all you gotta do is heat this up and put it over some pasta you've cooked. Otherwise, you could just ground a pound. I wouldn't use 2 pounds of meat with this, but you could ground fry up a pound of ground meat and mix it with your sauce, and then you could use it over your pasta when it's done. But this is really good, and in a pinch, I have used this because during football season, my son's in the band. You know, those nights are crazy. You're just trying to get home from work, get everything settled, get dinner cooked, and get out the door again. So this is a really good shortcut. My water's boiling for my pasta, so I get a handful, and I just break it in half and put it in the water. So I'm gonna time it and tell you how long it takes, because I don't normally do that. I just look at it, but I'm not good about timing stuff. Now on your sauce, you just stir it every once in a while it's simmering. But one thing you need to know, this is deer meat. Deer meat is extremely lean, so there's no grease or oil in here. If you use like ground beef or pork, you may need to drain your onions and meat before you start adding other things. You can just use a colander and drain that off, but you don't have to do that with deer meat. That's one of the things I like about it. It's a really lean meat. But I normally get cheesy Texas toast, I think it's called. They were out, so I got this at Walmart, and it's pretty good too. It's got your cheese on it, and you just cook it at 425 for like 5 to 7 minutes. But we're about done, y'all. See, it's not hard to make. It's actually a late lunch for us. We haven't had lunch yet. But it should fill us up enough for lunch and dinner. There we go, 2 meals in one. So we're just waiting on the oven. Let's see, it's been 2 minutes. Pasta scooper somewhere, but finding it's another thing. My son does the dishes, and finding things once he puts them up, they're not in the same place I normally keep them. So it's a hunt and peck, hide and seek when you're trying to find your dishes. But see, this is thickened up some. And it looks really good. I love spaghetti. I love Italian food, period. And Mexican food. And American food. Okay, I just love food, I admit it. Alright, it's been 4 minutes. So we'll turn the burner off and get the oven warmed up. I guess I should have started it a little bit earlier. I'm going to put the bread in, because you gotta have bread with pasta. Okay, I'm going to turn this down to low and just let it kind of stay warm. And as soon as the oven gets up to 425, I'll stick the bread in there, and then I'll show you what it's all like when it's finished. Okay, so we've got pasta with our sauce on it. My husband likes to use this shredded cheese, and the Kroger brand's really good too. It's the Italian 5 cheese blend. So I'm gonna let him put that on his. There you go, Carl. And then on mine, you know, we all gotta be different. I like the Italian style blend shredded cheese, the real cheese. So that's what I put on mine. Sprinkle it on there. And then the bread's out of the oven. So we're ready to eat. Now you can make your own bread. I was cheating today. It's hot as can be here, so I was cutting it down to the minimum. But if you just get a loaf of French bread, like Walmart has it for like $1 a loaf all the time. It's by the register, over by the bread. They scatter it all over the place by the fruits and vegetables. But if you just take and spread some butter on it, sprinkle some garlic powder on it, and then, you know, whatever cheeses you like on your bread, you can sprinkle that on there. Turn your oven on to 425, and thereafter the oven heats up. It won't take long, probably not much longer than 5-7 minutes if you do the regular bread. I'm trying to get y'all back up here with me. Anyway, thanks for joining me today, and I hope that you learned something new, or at least enjoyed cooking spaghetti sauce. It's one of my favorite dishes, and to me it's one of the easiest dishes to make. And if you've got a large family, it's a very economical dish to make. So like where I used 1 handful of pasta, that's for 2 people. So say you had 2 adults, 2 children, 2 handfuls, you should have plenty. Anyway, y'all have a great day, and thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye, y'all.